If a closet and a $100 microphone got me signed to Sony, listen up. You can get your dream home studio up and running today. You've got the voice. Now you need a home studio so we can get you heard. If you don't even know where to start, you can relax because I'm going to give you the full roadmap right now. And you don't need a multi-million-dollar studio to cook up some hits. In fact, I'm about to share a few options so you can get started with either the most simple setup on the lowest budget or jump into a more professional setup, which can still be affordable. Let's walk through all the gear you can get for a dream home studio setup. First of all, by the end of this video, if you've loaded your cart and are waiting for your new studio gear to arrive, you can actually start recording in the meantime if you have these basics: a laptop or phone, Soundtrap, wired headphones, a mic, which could even be the one on your headphones. A tier above that, let's say you're still just trying to dip a toe in and you want to start with a low budget setup. You could skip the speakers, skip the fancy studio headphones, and just use what you have. As long as you have a computer, you can get away with buying just a microphone and cable, a mic stand, and an interface. That is actually enough to get you started, and a lot of pro audio stores sell these things in discounted bundles. And if you're ready to go all in, here are all the ingredients to a full home studio setup, starting with the microphone. I recommend a condenser microphone, one that connects with an XLR cable. This mic here is by Lewitt. I also love Shure, Slate, Rode, and my personal mic is by Manly Labs. Out of all the equipment we'll talk about today, if you want to put a little extra money into anything, put it into the microphone. And in my opinion, mics under $200 can be really hit or miss sound-wise, so I'd rather you buy a cheaper interface than a microphone. And we'll talk about interfaces in a sec. Some microphones already come with a shock mount and pop filter, but you might have to buy them separately depending on which mic you go for. A shock mount connects to the mic stand and keeps the mic suspended in air to literally absorb the shock of you bumping into the stand. It's really just to protect the microphone. It does not give you permission to hit the mic during a take. If you do that, do another take, please. The pop filter is super important. It protects the mic's diaphragm, which is this circular piece in the middle of the mic. It protects it from getting hit with too much air. Words that start with the letter P especially, they pop out too much air too quickly. P's and B's, we call them plosives. They're really ugly sounding when they go through a microphone. It sounds kind of like a thumping sound. Quick tip to prevent plosives: you can angle your mic away from you vertically just a little bit. That reduces some of the impact of the air hitting the diaphragm. Next, your mic needs a stand. And no, you can't just hold it like you do on stage. Recording mics are sensitive and they will pick up any movement, so you really need to be stationary. I personally use a kick drum mic stand in my studio because I can set it on the desk or on a shelf. So if you plan on recording at your desk, this might be a good move for you. Otherwise, go for a boom style mic stand so you can adjust it to fit your physical setup. Straight mic stands are only cute on stage because they're not very customizable. You could easily go with a brand like Gator, but my favorite is K&M stands. Your mic also needs an XLR cable, and my favorite is made by Mogami, which has a lifetime warranty. You might be wondering, why not just get a USB mic? Well, USB mics work fine for like podcasting or sounding really fancy on a Zoom call, but for serious vocal recording, you want an XLR that plugs into the interface, which leads me to interfaces. The interface is the middleman between your mic, speakers and headphones, and the computer/recording software. It has a built-in preamp to condition your audio for a cleaner sound, less distortion, and more control over your gain levels. Think of it like a big adapter that makes all your gear speak the same language. All in all, it makes your vocal recording quality much better. When looking out for a new interface, a $99 one will do just fine starting out. Check out Focusrite, Presonus, Arturia, Apogee, and Universal Audio. One thing to keep in mind is condenser mics don't have a power source, so they rely on what's called phantom power, which is a little button on your interface that says 48V. We'll talk more in depth about setting your gain level in the next video, which is the amount of loudness you're allowing to go through the mic. I'll show you exactly how I set up and run my sessions within the recording software, but just to get you going, set your level by singing your loudest part of the song into the mic while watching that purple to pink meter on the vocal track. Do not let it go higher than about 75%. Turn the input gain knob on your interface up or down until it's sitting at a good level. Depending on which interface you have, it might say input input 1, gain, or even just 1 or 2 if you're plugged into mic 1 or mic 2. When your level goes too high, it means you're at risk of distorting the vocals. You can always make quiet vocals louder, but you cannot fix vocals that are distorted. Here's an example of a vocal that's way too quiet. So let's turn the input gain level up, and this is what it sounds like if it's way too loud.
Why don't you speak what's on your mind?
Obviously distorting, so let's turn it back here, and this is gonna be the sweet spot.
Why don't you speak what's on your mind?
I want to talk about headphones for a sec, and you might already have some, but in studio, it is highly recommended to get closed back Pro Audio Studio headphones. They are designed to help you hear a more true, even representation of what the mix might sound like on various speakers. A lot of consumer headphones actually come with boosted bass for like a fun listening experience, but if you mix your song in headphones with boosted bass, chances are you'll actually turn the bass down too much in your mix, and then you won't have enough bass in your song. So what you want is called a flat frequency response. It's the most natural, true sound. Closed back also helps prevent the sound from escaping out the sides of your headphones into the microphone, which nobody wants. These are Sennheisers. I also like Austrian Audio, Sony's, AKGs are great, Focal. And when you buy these, they usually come with a 1/4 inch adapter. This is 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch, so it can fit in your interface. So if you're going to use your regular headphones for now, you might need to buy one of these little guys. By the way, I am going to recap this and give you a rapid fire list one more time at the end so you can screenshot it, okay? Next is your speakers. In the studio, we call them monitors, and similar to headphones, buying Pro Audio Studio monitors ensures you get speakers that are designed for mixing. These are by Yamaha, but I'm also a big fan of Fluid Audio, Adam, and Genelec. Okay, and finally, let's talk about acoustic treatment. Remember, I was recording in my closet, and it wasn't because I was hiding and didn't want anyone to hear me. It's because it has good acoustics for recording. You want what we call a dampened sound, where your voice won't be bouncing off the walls. Clothes help to absorb the sound, and you'll hear it if you go and talk in your bathroom. It's super reflective and echoey, but then you walk into your closet and the sound is so much more controlled. So don't sleep on recording in the closet. You can definitely buy an acoustically treated vocal booth like this one, or you can just put things in your room that absorb sound, like a cloth couch, carpet on the floor, acoustic fixtures. I'm not a big fan of those acoustic foam panels. I just don't think they perform very well. I prefer fiberglass acoustic panels. If you don't have a more enclosed space, try recording in the middle of the room to reduce the reverberations from the walls. All right, here's that list again of all the studio ingredients. You've got computer, microphone, shock mount, pop filter, XLR mic cable, mic stand, interface, closed back studio headphones, studio monitors, and acoustic treatment. And you may need a 1/4 inch adapter. Double check that your microphone comes with a shock mount and pop filter, and double check that your monitors come with 1/4 inch cables. And of course, Soundtrap recording software. Comment below and let us know which microphone you're looking to get. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where we're talking about mic technique, recording, and setting up your vocal session in the software. Okay, I'll see you there.